What's going on, everybody? It's your boy, Matt Burrill, here to tell you guys about my friends from Big Friendly Productions. Now, they specialize in creating merchandise for bands, artists, and even lifestyle brands. With their in-house equipment, they can provide shirts, branded hats, and more, as well as some graphic design services. They offer order fulfillment to handle your online orders and ship your merch straight to your fans from their shop down in good old Birmingham, Alabama, baby. Now, whether you are getting your first shirt, you're just starting out, or you're going on a 40-show run, hit them up for all your merchandising needs. Check out their website, bigfriendlyproductions.com, or shoot them an email, merchandising@bigfriendlyproductions.com. Now, we're going to get into the episode. This is Outside the Round with Matt Burrill. Also, make sure you guys like, rate, subscribe, tell your mama and them. And for more details and to get in touch with the rest of the familia, visit raisrowdy.com. Now, let's get into it. Outside the Round with me, Matt Burrill, a Raise Rowdy podcast.
This is Outside the Round with Matt Burrill, a Raise Rowdy podcast.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Outside the Round with me, Matt Burrill. Today we have got a really cool episode with our boy, a new face in town who's been playing our events, our Raise Rowdy events over at Live Oak Music Row, and a guy that we really believe in. We've been doing a lot of these newer folks getting on the podcast, so then years from now you can be like, oh shit, they were on the outside, they were on Outside the Round, or they were on Tales from the Front Row, or whatever within our podcast network. We've got our good buddy, Mr. Caleb Lathrop, with us. Caleb, how you doing, dude?
I'm doing good, man.
What'd you get and do this weekend?
Oh, what'd I do this weekend? Play some golf, and had some riding sessions, and kind of the normal day-to-day thing as a independent artist.
Nice. How long have you been living here in town?
So I moved here right during COVID. So I played college baseball back home in Oregon, and then I at a JUCO, and then I got an offer to play here at Cumberland in Lebanon, and I played pitcher there, and I got to do 1 year during COVID and started into the spring ball, and then I hurt my arm, my UCL, and I had to kind of let that go, and I was like, man, what am I going to do next?
Yeah.
And I was like, I always loved music. Like, I grew up around my great-grandpa, and he had this little band, like, in our county, and they used to play everywhere. So I kind of grew up with music in my family, but, like, never really – that was never, like, the idea. I was always sports. So it was, like, baseball, basketball, football, soccer, you name it. All year round I was doing something.
What was your out pitch? What was your
I don't know, dude.
What were you how were you throwing hard? Were you making that ball move or what?
That was my biggest thing. My ball can move. Like,
okay.
I had a lot of sink on my fastball. I had a lot of drop on my changeup. I had a really kind of like a mix of a Clayton Kershaw with a sweep to it, curve. Yeah. So it was that was probably my go-to pitch, my out pitch. My curveball.
Yeah, because I grew up I'm a big baseball fan right now, and it's a weird time for me because the Yankees on paper look so fucking good, but without Aaron Judge, we're in last place for like the first time in my lifetime, and we're still like as it sits right now, like 6 or 7 games over 500, and we're in last place because the division's so fucking good. But I grew up around baseball because like my great grandpa like played with the in the Brooklyn Dodgers organization, really? And then my pop on my dad's side was he played in the Little League World Series for the state of Maine, for like a bunch of years, coached like Babe Ruth ball, like Legion ball. He's in like the Maine, like the state of Maine has their own like baseball Hall of Fame. Yeah. He's like a fixture in that Hall of Fame. So I always wanted to be a good player. I just wasn't. I just wasn't. But I love the sport, love the game.
What position were you?
I was wherever they could find a spot for me. I was that kid that wasn't really good.
You're like, Coach, I'll play left out, dude. Come on.
Yeah, dude. I loved it. And but I remember like you talk about like those sweeping curves and shit. Yeah. my nana used to always get mad at my papa, but he would do it, and he'd have me get down like a catcher, and this was him in his 50s, 60s, and he would throw, it was a tennis ball, thankfully, but he would throw it'd be like, I'm going to make this thing curve, and it's going to hit you right between the eyes, don't move your hand. And sure enough, when I was a little guy, probably like 6, 7 years old, 8 years old, he would drop the curve, and the tennis ball hit me right in the fucking, right in the crown of my nose, dude. And there's something special about that game of baseball, and there's a lot of parallels to folks that play baseball within country music. I mean, you're a West Coast guy, you're a Pacific Northwest guy, so it's a little different than West Coast. But if you go down the road a little bit in the California, you look
SoCal and all that.
You look at a guy like Brett Young. Brett Young, people don't realize he was drafted by, back in the day, it was the Tampa Bay Devil Rays.
Yeah,
and he was a pitcher. He was at Fresno State, and he had everything going for him. And then his arm gave out, and he decided to pick up a guitar and start covering Gavin DeGraw songs, and then started writing his own. And look at where his career is, man. And you look at guys like Wallen and Ernest and, and Jameson Rogers and so many and Adam Doliak. There's so many guys that come up as baseball guys, and it's like,
wasn't Aldine one too?
Aldine was one. I mean, I feel like so, especially in the South.
It's like every, like when I moved here, anyone I talk to, I'm like, oh, what'd you used to do? You play any sports? Like, yeah, baseball. I'm like, me too.
Yeah.
It's like everyone.
Yeah, and it's like when you think of like they call folks like the boys of summer when they're playing baseball and stuff. And you think of summer and you think of country music, and they just kind of go hand in hand. So that has to be tough making that transition though, from like your life's work being on a diamond and putting in all those work and all those hitting lessons and all those pitching lessons and everything like that, to switching up to taking guitar lessons or teaching yourself guitar, and but it's still a grind, man.
Definitely. I mean, I've never taken a guitar lesson in the sense of like an actual lesson, and I've never taken a vocal lesson. I just recently started. I got connected with a girl named Mo. She's unbelievable. She's an amazing vocal coach, and she's been, for the last like week and a half, I've been working with her. But yeah, I mean, going from normally waking up at like 6, 7 in the morning, doing workouts, doing that, and making sure your body's right and eating healthy. That's one thing I wish I would have kept, just eating better. But going from all that, and then you go into like, you lose it all, and you're like, damn, what do I do now? It's like you have that kind of like aha moment. You're like, well, I didn't really have a plan B, but then like you always loved playing music and whatnot. Like I've always loved. I didn't even know I could sing until like 2018. Like I really still to this day don't think I should be here, and like in the sense of it, but I'm like, I think there's a reason I'm here, and I think God has a plan for that. So I was like, why not? Like, why not? Why can't I do this?
Yeah. What was it like going from the Pacific Northwest to Lebanon, Tennessee? Because
it was a big difference.
Because I'm like, how, like, where you grew up? Because we have a good friend. I don't know. Do you know Mark Oriot at all? Have you met him yet?
Then
so
I think
he's a writer in town, an artist in town. He works he's very involved with Raised Rowdy. We have a new segment we're doing called the D-Gens, and it's some of our buddies, like it's Mark Oriot, Brian Fraser, Ryan Nelson, Jadis, and Eli Locke. And they're talented writers. They're doing the artist thing, but they're like comedy guys too. Yeah. But Mark is from Oregon, and I always thought of Oregon as being like the Ducks and the Beavers and Portland and this and that. But then Mark's like, bro, I grew up on a farm. We used to go hunting in the fall, go hunting in the spring, do this, do that. Love to smoke some herb, like doing all that. And I was like, oh shit, like the Pacific Northwest. And I mean, it stretches over into Idaho. It stretches over into Big Sky country too.
Yep.
So coming from like that small town, rural Pacific Northwest stuff to the rural South.
Yeah.
They're pretty fucking different.
It's a pretty big change. Like people call like, I don't want to bash on anyone here about any of that, but like people call like, they're like, oh, these mountains. I'm like, those are like rolling hills.
Yeah, well, that's just it. I look at Tennessee as like having rolling hills and stuff.
Yeah.
It's not. I mean, you have like the Smoky Mountains and stuff that are a little bit east where Appalachia is, but yeah, the West Coast, the mountain ranges, and does it really rain that fucking much? Like, do you think it rains more out there or rains more here? Because it rains a lot in Nashville.
Okay, so I actually, it's funny you say that because I was just talking to my buddy who came from back home, and we're talking about that, and like, it rains a lot, like more often there, but in the sense of like actual rainfall, I don't know the statistics, but it feels like when it rains here, like Luke Combs said it best, when it rains, it pours.
Yes.
Like, it rains here, and I've never seen that kind of a rain. Like at home, like, it'll rain, but it's like the ass end of the rain here, like when it's just lightly kind of fading out, that's what it's like more often there. So it's like it'll rain for like 6 hours, 8 hours, but it's like you maybe get like 2-3 inches of rain, like rainfall, and then here in 5 minutes you'll get 5 inches of rainfall, and I'm like, it's like not even comparable. But it's like I see what people are like. I wonder where it rains more, and I don't know.
Yeah, because that's how I felt coming from New York. Like we didn't have the humidity.
What's it like up there?
I mean, we get 4 seasons. Like I used to make money shoveling my neighbors' driveways.
Oh, yeah.
Like with snow and the leaves changing a lot in the fall. It's just not as humid. The humidity down here is fucking brutal. You don't have that as much.
No, we don't hardly have any humidity.
You don't have that
there
at all.
Yeah, I don't think I mean, maybe like 1-2%. I don't know. But like, I've always loved humidity just from like being a kid. We used to go to Hawaii once in a while, and I loved the humidity as a kid. Like when we got there, I'm like, because when you get out when you're a kid and you get out of the airport and you're like, you feel the humidity hit you and you've never felt it before, and you're like, oh, and then you like your mind takes you like, this is what Hawaii feels like.
Yeah.
And then like I came down here, I'm like, I like this feeling. So it's like, it was really easy for me to come down here in that sense, because I mean, I like the heat, and I definitely do love the winters. And that's one thing I do miss is like, I miss snowboarding and doing all the fun stuff we did back like in the winter. But
yeah, just casually taking family vacations to Hawaii. That feels like that's a big West Coast thing. That's a very West Coast thing.
It's way closer for sure.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's a West Coast thing.
I was blessed. I mean, I grew up with my grandparents, but I mean, I was very, very blessed with how I was raised, and everyone in my family is always trying to do something right for me and help me out. And it's like I was unbelievably blessed of how I was raised up.
How close were you, like distance wise, like same town as your grandparents and all that stuff?
Yeah. So I'm from Elgin, Oregon, which is a really, really small town. I graduated with 28 people. Everyone knew everyone. Like if you had a breakup, the entire county and the county next to us would know it within an hour.
Wow.
Like, I mean, it was like wildfire. Like, even their parents knew.
Yeah.
It's like,
yeah,
you break up with a girl, you go drive to the next county over and go to get food or something, and they're like, oh, you guys broke up? And you're like, how did you even know this? Like, I just texted her 20 minutes ago.
Yeah. Yeah, so I grew up very close to my grandparents, and I was lucky enough to have great grandparents, like you talked about.
Yep.
I was lucky enough to have both sets of great grandparents on my mom's side, and then my dad's parents, very involved in my life. But my family all came from the same suburb in New York, outside of New York. My dad came from Maine, but my mom's side grew up in 30 minutes outside, 30 miles or whatever outside of New York City, and it was cool because I got to have those times that we had a family business, and my grandparents growing up were never more than 4 or 5 miles away.
Yeah.
And I spent a lot of time, and I didn't do the cliche country stuff, like going fishing with my grandpa or doing things like that, but I got to have a lot of time with them, and it's a very special thing. It's a very special thing. Are your grandparents still around?
Yep. So my great-grandma actually just passed away in this December, and I grew up with my great-grandparents and my grandparents kind of at the same time. My mom had me at a really young age, and my dad also at a young age, and it was just they thought it was the best fit for me because, I mean, when you're that young, I could not even imagine, even at my age right now, 23, imagine having a kid right now, raising a kid, where I'm at.
Bro, I'm at 28, and it'd be tough to imagine having a newborn pop out.
Yeah. I mean, my mom had me while she was in high school, and I went to graduation and stuff, and
wow.
I was I was kind of the cool kid when I was a baby before I even got to high school, and then I turned out that was my only cool moment. So I was kind of a loser.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say I was a loser, but it was I definitely, it was cool, but I'm talking like I remember it, but
I remember
all the stories.
I was wearing that pair of Huggies, and I had my bottle.
I had those Jordans on, with the light ups on them, yeah. But no, it was cool. I'm still really close with everyone in my family. There was never been bad blood, in that sense of anything, and they just thought it was best that I was raised up with somebody who was able to raise somebody right now, and then I got to see him every other day and whatnot. And I think my dad still lived there while I was a kid and whatnot, because he was going to college. And yeah, now we're 23 years down the line.
Yeah, how was their reaction to you wanting to move across the country to 2 time zones over? Because for me, it was like I'm a 14-hour drive away, 2.5-hour flight.
And a 1 hour time zone.
Yeah, one time zone over. And I have family in East Tennessee, so like I grew up coming down to this region quite a bit. Not quite Middle Tennessee, but the eastern side, like near the Virginia border. And my family they were very supportive, but when I first left,
that
it
was
was
a question
tough.
you asked me. That was a question you asked me. I forgot what you were asking.
It was tough. Like, because family is a huge thing for you. I can tell, like the Lathrop family is very tight.
Very
knit.
tight.
I can tell that just from talking to you right now. Like, what's the reaction to? Okay, guys, I'm gonna move to Nashville to 1, play baseball, and then 2, I'm gonna stay here and try this music thing. Something that you guys didn't know about me growing up and stuff.
Yeah, like I never even sang during like I was saying, I'm gonna get back to they were very supportive and then I'll get back to that. But like I said, I didn't know I could really sing or anything until like 2018. Like I was working this construction job with a buddy of mine, Chris Bathke, and I was like just got out of my freshman year of college at a JUCO, and I'm like, dude, I don't know where I'm gonna work because I was living in Portland at that time, and he's like, oh man, no, I got this job, and my uncle, I think it was working there, and so we talked to the boss, and I was like, hey, come on over and get a job interview, and did that and got hired and worked there that summer. Worked there, I think, 2 to 3 summers, and then. But my point is, in 2018, I was working there, and I was driving a haul truck, and I was just like so bored out of my mind that I didn't know what to do. So I was like, I always loved singing and whatnot. So I was like, I'm gonna try to write a song. So I was in the haul truck, wrote my very first song without a guitar, without any like instrumental playing, anything. I would just off the top of my head.
The power of the notes section in the iPhone.
Swear, dude.
Yeah.
It's the best thing I've ever, like, if you look through my notes right now, there's at least probably 2,000 like song ideas and probably 100 plus songs.
Yeah, the power of the phone, man. I mean, I keep so much stuff, so many things in my notes. That's how I know who's playing what round. That's how I know like my business plans within Raised Rowdy, like different things, like goals. Like there's so much power to writing shit down. And luckily we don't have to write it down in a pen on a piece of paper to where we could fucking lose it. Because I know I would lose it. I lose shit all the time. So to have it in the phone is great.
Yeah. And so when I finished that when I finished the song, I'm like, oh, this is such a good song. You know, when you get like, whatever. I'm like, dude, this song is going to be a #1. I'm like, don't even know really. And I'm like, wait, I got to go back and get my guitar and see what the chords are for this, and started messing around with that. And then I showed my buddies on my baseball team, and they're like, dude, that's pretty cool. And then I, like, obviously looking back, it's terrible. But like, and I went to a guitar center with my buddy, and we were just looking at guitars, and some guy came in, and this is how the whole music thing started, right? So I was playing baseball, did all that, went to a guitar center, started messing around looking at guitars. My buddy was there, and I was showing him, because he hadn't heard it yet, and I showed him the song, and this guy heard me, like I was in like the acoustic room where the door shut and whatnot.
Yeah.
And the guy, can't remember his name, but a guy came in and was like, can I record this and like post this? I'm like, sure. So I played it again. He recorded it, posted it on Facebook, and I mean, it's not really blowing up in the sense of it, but back then that was a lot to me. So it was like, it had like 8,000 shares and like something big for me. And I'm like, holy cow. And then like, I have all these people like back home. They're like, I didn't know you could sing, blah, 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 blah. And this, and I'm like, I didn't either. Yeah. And it was like, so that's where like everything really started. I'm like, maybe I can do music. And then like, cause I was still doing baseball, and I was like, but I'm like, I'll just do it for fun, whatever. Just kind of like a bonfire gig or something, you know? And then got down here, hurt my arm, and all that happened. I told them when I was coming down here, that's what you were asking me. So I was like, hey, one, I like music, and I knew that I wanted to pick a college to go to after JUCO that was like towards music. And I'm like, somewhere in Tennessee for sure, because I've always loved like the South, and I've only been down here a couple times. Like I went to Florida when I was a kid a couple times, to Disney World, and then I think, where was the other place I went? It was like Arizona. I mean, that's not really technically.
It's the Southwest.
Yeah.
It's the South for a West Coast
guy. But I mean, like the East South and like you know, like the Southern South.
Yeah.
Like when you think of that, I don't think of like Arizona and like the south of that. Like
Scottsdale might as well be. It's all my kind of. That's very New York.
Yeah, exactly. So, but yeah, when I told them that, they're like, I mean, go ahead, do it. They've always been very supportive and like they'll back me on anything I do. Like if I told, this is how awesome that my family is. Like if I told them like, hey, I'm starting this like worm company, and I promise you it's gonna work out, they'd be like, I believe you 100%. And I'm like, it's never gonna work out, but they'll be right there behind my back always.
That's a similar situation to me growing up. 'Cause my family had a family business, and it was a Culligan. It was a water company. It was called Culligan Water, and we had like a franchise of it or whatever. And like growing up in New York, like there's like the common jobs. Everybody goes into the city, and a lot of people do the Wall Street thing or work for the town or do this or do that. And I was working in radio, which is completely fucking out there. As out there as like what I'm doing now with Raise Your Rowdy and what I did going on tour with people. But my family always had my back, you know, and they it wasn't the normal 9 to 5 thing, but they always supported me and stuff like that. And I definitely wouldn't be down here if it weren't for them. So
100%.
That's cool. That's cool to hear that, man. Being in Oregon and like being out in the Pacific Northwest, you get all kinds of different music tastes too. Because I mean,
100%.
you look back in like the '90s and the 2000s, like the rock shit, and it's like the big thing that come out of Seattle. I mean, you had Mariners baseball with Griffey, like one of the greatest of all time.
Favorite player, him and Ichiro, my favorite players.
I can see why. I remember Ichiro. My family was actually on vacation in East Tennessee, but I stayed home. And it was me and my grandma going back to the grandparents thing. And I remember I was in first grade, I think, first or second grade. I think it was first grade because that was when Ichiro came in 01, right?
Yep.
I think it was 01 or 02.
Yeah, somewhere in there.
So I remember Ichiro, it was the Mariners' first year. It was Ichiro's first series in New York. And this was before Matsui had come to the Yankees.
Yeah.
So New York, huge Asian population. Not quite like Seattle, but still very large Asian population. It was at the old Yankee Stadium, and my grandma, huge Yankees fan, and I remember going to the Yankee game with her. Just me and grandma, going and watching Ichiro, and we were in right field, and the amount of just people, the spectacle that was the fucking buzz of just Ichiro and just how big he was for the game of baseball worldwide. It was so cool to watch.
Kind of like what Shohei's doing right now.
Dude, it's insane.
It's great for the game.
Yeah. Are you still you still keep up with baseball and everything?
Every day.
Every day. So
baseball, basketball. I mean, baseball, like I was going to go play basketball before baseball.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I was gonna go play basketball in Hawaii Pacific, but I didn't get a scholarship that I wanted, so I went for baseball instead. But shit. Basketball, I mean, it was always a toss up. I've always told like, oh, you can't play basketball, you're too short, blah blah blah. I'm like, yeah, well, I can still shoot. I can still dribble, and I can still pass. And I just because I'm short doesn't mean that won't work.
Yeah, and I will give every effort I can on defense,
100%,
which is a huge thing. And so many guys don't play defense anymore. But that's a whole other conversation.
Yeah.
What do you think's gonna happen with Damian Lillard?
Oh, dude.
Because you're a big Trailblazers fan, and I know how important the Blazers are to the city of Portland being the one. I mean, you have the Timber too, the soccer team, but like I know how important the Blazers are to the state of Oregon being the one pro team.
I mean, what I want to happen or what I think is going to happen. I think he's going to go to Miami. I definitely think he's going to Miami, but I think it would be super cool if he joined the Celtics. I don't know what it is.
But you think he's definitely out of Portland?
He's definitely out of Portland. 100%.
Which is a shame because
it's
you
a
think
shame,
of
but like
all those teams that they've had over the last 10 years. They've been so competitive, but just couldn't get past the hump.
Warriors. You can't get past them right there. Like the Warriors in the same amount of time that he had all those great teams.
Yeah.
Who's beating the Warriors, really?
Yeah, and even before the Warriors got really going, you had the tail end of the Spurs dynasty.
Yep.
You had the Heat
even
just on the Western Conference, you had the fucking Lakers. Like you had some teams, the Clippers. Like you had it was tough.
DeAndre Jordan, Blake Griffin, Chris Paul. Yeah.
Yeah.
Phoenix is going to be.
Phoenix could be so fucking good. They're already so fucking good. And fucking Denver just proved, I mean, Jokic is just a fucking force. And basketball is fun, man. And that's something I know there's the Grizzlies down the road in Memphis, and they're a whole fucking cluster.
I gotta go to one of those games.
They're a whole clusterfuck with the John Morant stuff. But, like, it'd be cool if Nashville... would you prefer that? You prefer they had a baseball team?
I think it would be better for the city. Just in the sense of... Because we already have the sounds, right? And, like... I don't know who, like, it would be tough to have a basketball team here in this. I mean, it would be very awesome to have one. I would love that. But I think for the general census, if we had an MLB team here, I think it would be, like, top tier. It'd make it more of a destination, and it would make it, like, which kind of sucks for the locals. It definitely sucks.
We are a tourist town.
Yeah.
We are.
But I feel like it would be awesome. Like, imagine, like, because aren't they taking down the football stadium?
So they're rebuilding that. That's about to have a whole retractable roof, get a huge facelift.
Yeah, I've seen what it looked like, but are they going to move? Like, is the new location going to be different, or is it going to be right in the same spot?
I think it's going to be, like, right in that same spot.
So then how are they going to have a season?
It's going to be, like, maybe right next to it.
I was going to say, because I feel like they're going to have to build the new one, like, somewhere close to it. But imagine, like, if that place right there is taken down, right, and then the football stadium's in a new place, and that is where the baseball field is, and you're looking over kind of like PNC at Pittsburgh. Imagine that view with the Batman building.
Oh, dude, it'd be so sick.
That would be it would for sure be one of the best, like, outlooks. In my opinion, I think PNC in Pittsburgh is one of the prettiest views of the backdrop.
Yeah, that's on my bucket list. And with Raised Rowdy being originally started by Nikki T in Pittsburgh, we've been planning a voyage to go up there. And I'm like, Nikki, I know that that you have your thoughts on the Pirates because they've started out really good when you were a kid. Because Nikki's in his 40s, and the Pirates back in the day had fucking Bobby Bonilla, they had fucking Barry Bonds, they were. The late 80s, early 90s Pirates were fucking incredible. But ever since then, they've been so bad. They're pretty good this year, and they signed Brian Reynolds to a long-term deal, which is cool. But I was like, dude, if we go to Pittsburgh, and then it's during baseball season, we have to time it with a Bucks game. And I have to sit behind home plate and be able to look, like, somewhere in the upper deck, whatever, and just have that view of the city with the three rivers right there.
It's unbelievable. Make sure you go to an evening game, not a day game. I mean, it's still cool, but, like, when the lights go on and everything, and then because they have this one building, I don't remember what it was, because I went to a game there last year, and it was beautiful.
How many parks have you been to? You've probably been to quite a few.
Not really. I don't think that many. I mean, I've been to Safeco, but now it's T-Mobile.
It'll always be Safeco. It'll always be Safeco. It'll always be Safeco.
Same with the Lakers. It's always going to be Staples.
Yeah,
always. But so I've went to Safeco, T-Mobile. I've went to PNC. I've went to.
Is that it?
It might be, but I've went to the Arizona spring training games.
I
went to
spring training has to be a lot.
It's so much fun.
I have family that's gone down to Florida like a lot for the.
I got a crazy story about my first time going to spring training.
Really,
that I remember
back in the Cactus League.
Yeah, so like we went down there. I think it was actually 2017 or 2018. Whenever Cody Bellinger was just getting called up, that his rookie year, right?
Wow.
Listen to this though.
Okay.
So we were there for spring break during the spring training, and I'm always that kid who goes out there, hey, can I get a ball, whatever, like, and always trying to find a way to get a ball. Exactly, always.
Kid, yeah.
And I went down there, and it was after the game, and I watched the Dodgers. They were playing, I think, I don't know, San Diego maybe or somebody, but it's like not all the main players were playing because it's spring training. But this kid named Cody Bellinger that I had no idea, no one really knew who he was yet. There was this, I was like, hey, can I get a ball down there? Because I seen one that had like some kind of writing on it. I'm like, that was my ball. I dropped it. You know, kind of being a liar. But I'm like, can I get that ball? I dropped it. And some guy, it didn't even have a name. Like, dude didn't have a name, just number like 46 or something. He's like, toss it up. I looked at it and it said, Cody Bellinger's first hit. And I'm like, who the hell is this guy? Right? And it has a date and everything on it. And we get back and we start watching that year of baseball. And Cody just goes off. Yeah. And I'm like, I got his ball, dude. And I tried DMing him. I'm like, hey, I got your first ball if you want it. Like, he has never seen it. But, like, I have his first technical, I believe it's his first technical big league hit that was in spring training.
Okay, well, Cody Bellinger, we will tag you in this clip. And if you want this ball, hit up our boy, Caleb Lathrop. Yeah. And we can work something out. Maybe a jersey exchange or something. Yeah, I don't know. Something. Dude, they're talking about him going to the Yankees potentially. We are very in on him because we are struggling right now. Yeah. We're still, that's the thing. I'm fucking spoiled, bro. we have a winning record, and it's like the world is falling down in New York. And he's one of the better lefty hitters in the last 10 years. And his dad, Clay Bellinger, was like the ultimate utility guy. Dude played like 7 different positions all over the field in the Yankees dynasty in the late 90s, early 2000s. So it'd be really cool for Cody Bellinger to be a Yankee. But if you want that ball, hit up our boy Caleb for sure.
Definitely.
I've been to, as far as ballparks, like I've been to obviously old Yankee Stadium, new Yankee Stadium, but for the old one, I like it when the building shakes a little bit. There's just some energy about it. Went to Shea Stadium, it was a fucking dump. Citi Field's supposed to be nice. I haven't been there yet. That could be the New York Yankees fan of me talking shit about the Mets. I don't like them. I've been to Baltimore. Baltimore is
my buddy's got to go there, and they're like, it was so awesome.
It is the nicest of those stadiums that were built in the 90s, bro. It is still fucking nice. I don't like that fucking wall. They literally built it, I think, because the Yankees were hitting so many home runs there, and they pushed that wall 25, 30 feet back and jacked it up in the air. City of Baltimore is a shithole, but and it's no knowledge. That's no knowledge. We're all northeastern mid-Atlantic trash. You know, New York, Philly, Boston, Baltimore, DC. We could all talk shit to each other because we're all the fucking same. I've been to Minnesota.
Oh, I don't think I've been to the state of Minnesota.
Yeah, I went out there when I was on the road with Trey Lewis. We were doing it was one of the first dates of the Kid Rock tour. And we had the time during the day, so we went to it. And I gotta say, I mean, it was beautiful stadium, Target Field. It's cool.
I was saying that's when they had the new one, right?
Yeah,
because then they built that in 11.
Yeah, they built that in 11. So this was last year that we went, and it was cool. But the fans are just so not into it. It's just the Midwest. They're so fucking nice and quiet. I'm sitting there heckling because it's against, and it's funny enough, it's against the Mariners. It's Twins Mariners. Our buddy Terry Adams, who was playing in Trey's band at the time, big Mariners fan from Alabama, but a big Mariners fan. So we were like, "Fuck it, let's go to the game, Twins Mariners." And I was rooting hard for the Mariners. I was yelling my ass off at Carlos Correa, being a Yankees fan and all these Twins fans. Nobody would tell me to shut up. We had tickets for the upper deck, and we worked our way down all the way to like the field level. Nobody cares.
That's
there.
always a fun.
And we were there, and I was just yelling at Carlos Correa and Gary Sanchez. Those were the guys I was heckling. But so I've been there, and then we went to was the second game ever at Globe Life in Arlington.
Really?
It was in 2021, so COVID was still a thing. But remember, they were still they were doing the full capacity tickets and everything. We were there for that second game of the park's existence.
That's so awesome.
And we sat like right behind the field and stuff. And that place was like, damn. That's how I'm thinking. That's how it must feel when the roof's closed at Safeco.
I've never. It was always open. It's like they. I feel like sometimes they like close it. For not like they shouldn't have closed it. I'm like, why are you closing
home field it, man? Make it feel like the Kingdom a little bit, you know? Give it that kind of vibe. But Globe Life was really cool. But that's why I'm excited to see the Titans have this new stadium.
Super excited.
And you know what? With it being a fucking super stadium and it being a fucking and it being like enclosed and everything and a lot more seats and everything, they're gonna be able to do like Nashville's gonna be in the running to have a Super Bowl.
I hope
Nashville.
So.
No, we are. That's part of why they're doing it. Nashville's going to be. We could have fucking WrestleMania. We could have fucking the Final Four. We could have. A bigger level bowl game. We could do like big international soccer friendlies. You could do all kinds of shit by having a stadium of that size. So it'll be cool. I love that you're into sports because that's my thing. I wanted to be on ESPN when I was a kid. Like
that's all I've ever wanted. Like as a little kid, I wanted to be in the Little League World Series. I always wanted to do all those.
See, I wanted to be the guy talking. Like the commentator or like on Sports Center, like Stuart Scott and like Mike Green, like Mike and Mike and like all that shit. Like, and then I transitioned into the country music stuff when I was in college, and I grew up listening to country and doing all that stuff. But it's cool to see those kind of parallels. So you've been in town now. You said you moved here. Was it 2020 or 21?
2020.
2020. So it's been 3 years now, right? Or coming up on 3 years?
Yeah, somewhere right in there. I'm trying to think if it was the 19 fall into 20. No. It was a fall of 20. It was August of 2020. That's when
August of 2020.
Because I remember we came in for fall ball at Cumberland, and we had to do fall ball, and then went into that winter and whatnot. And so and then I hurt myself the spring of 21.
How many guys are chewing on a Southern JUCO baseball team?
Well, JUCO was back in Oregon.
Okay, so this was different.
Even in Oregon, yes, it was like. And what actually the funniest part is. our JUCO team, we had, I mean, you know those huge dumpsters, like the round one, like the
Tubs.
the tubs of
Stokers.
We had like 7 of those full of empty Zen pouches.
Zen.
And-
Okay, I'm a Zen guy right now.
I like Zens.
I just recently, because I've been a damn nicotine tobacco fiend for a long fucking time.
It's dangerous, dude.
Since college. Like I remember my first dip was with Skull Mint. And I tried to be a Billy Badass and fill my whole bottom pouch.
You're like, I'm great, dude.
I tried to fill my whole bottom lip up, and I wasn't spitting enough. And I got sick when I was DDing. I wasn't even drunk. I was DDing my boy and his girl and his now fiance. Shout out to Matt Cummings and Grayson Coda. It was right after we graduated high school. It was 2 weeks before we were going off to college, like that summer of 2013. And I yacked. It was Skull Mint pouches, bro, and that's what Matt McElwain dips. He's a mint guy. I think you can see he's got the little Coke bottle right there.
Oh yeah.
But I've recently gotten into the Zins because I dipped for a long time. We used to go through tubs of Stokers all the time in school in the dorm room, bro. And then I was for a long time. I was like a pack and a half, 2 packs a day of Diet Marlboros, Marlboro Lights. And now I'm doing the Zen thing, and it's like I got one in right now.
Yeah,
and I gut it. Like I don't spit it.
Dude, I can't. My
gut
buddies
it.
do that, and I'm like, I don't know how you do
Well,
it. Like,
I couldn't gut dip. I knew guys that could gut Cope LC.
Oh, yeah.
I knew guys that were gutting fine cut, bro.
Yeah.
Like fuck that.
No,
but the
I do
Zins,
too.
and then I know guys. What do you 3 milligrams or 6?
6.
6. Do you ever do 2 6s?
I've done 4 before.
You've done 4? Yeah. You've done 24 milligrams to the face?
To the dome, because I was like, because I used to vape all the time. Like,
yeah, I did that too. What were you vaping? Were you one of those douches with the fucking big coil things?
No. I wasn't one of those douches. I was trying to I would rather I was always like low key. Like, I didn't like people saying that I did it, but it was like, because I never did, dude. I didn't do anything in high school. No,
I didn't either.
I didn't drink. I didn't have I think the most I had in high school was 1 beer, and I faked being drunk. And I still hear it to this day. So if y'all are hearing that, this is your little shout out that I still get made fun of for acting drunk. And it was because I was like, there's no point. I was so focused on sports and everything that I was like, I don't want to ever ruin the opportunity that I have because I'm already at a disadvantage with my height. I'm already at a disadvantage because I'm from a really small town. I need everything that I can to go towards this. So I was like, I never did anything. And then the very first day I moved into JUCO, I got drunk with my roommate because he's like, hey, try this. This is Drake's whiskey or some shit. And I'm like, sure. I've never had it. He's like, we're gonna start off real slow. We're gonna have like 3 drinks and we're gonna see how you're feeling. Dude, after a drink and a half, I'm like, just messed up. And I'm like, yeah, now I know what it's like being drunk. And I was definitely not drunk when I said I was drunk.
Yeah, dude. I was on, and it's funny now because I just celebrated 7 years of sobriety from alcohol.
I've stopped drinking too.
Yeah. It's how long?
I used to, dude, it was bad. Like from that day, it was like, and then, so it went from, I didn't really drink that freshman year that much. Like it was once in a while, like on the weekends, like because baseball and whatnot. But like sorry, Mom. But it was like, it got bad. Like it got really bad when like I lost 2 of my best friends in 2020. And I didn't really have anything to like lean on or go towards in a sense because like no one really knows what to do when you do that. Like when that happens. So it's like it was really bad. And it was like, I'm beyond blessed that I've like not in that anymore. And so like I stopped. The first time I ever stopped, like because it used to be like a fifth or a half a fifth like a day.
Yeah,
like,
that's where I was at.
It was bad. I didn't even puke, and I was like, this is not good. Like I should not be able to do this and still function and not puke. Like this is bad.
Yeah.
And like so I stopped for a month, and that was like 6 months ago, half a year ago, whatever. And then I drank a little more, and then like New Year's, like I started getting like sick, like hangovers the next day, like because I never used to get like hangovers, and like I started getting like sick and puking like every time I drank after that, and I was like, okay, I don't even want to do this anymore. So then like I don't think I've drank in like a couple weeks, month, somewhere in there. Like I'd rather not. Like it's like it's fun for however long, but then you're like the next day you're like down and depressed, and because it's alcohol is a depressant, and it's like I'd rather not. I'd rather just wake up happy and like go be productive and go do something.
100%, yeah, dude, yeah. But it was funny because like you talk about not drinking and not doing stuff in high school. I was on a thing called Varsity Athletes Against Substance Abuse, and I was the guy that would go to. I was the damn captain of it my senior year. I was the first kid on the football team to be on this in this club, and we'd go to the elementary schools in our district and go to the middle school and tell kids why they shouldn't be drinking, smoking, chewing, all that. And then now I've got a damn date on my arm of when I had to quit drinking because I was a damn alcoholic. Like it's wild how that shit works. Dude. You know, it's crazy, and like, but I feel you with the not doing the stuff in high school because I didn't want to let those that were believing in me down.
Exactly.
And I felt like I had too much to lose by doing it and stuff. So you talk about losing friends in 2020. Is that where heaven came from?
That's where heaven down here came from. Yep. So
and that song, I got to say, by the way, and I wanted to start off the episode with it, but I kind of forgot to do it at the beginning. Nashville this past Friday. I don't know did you know Sam at all? Sam Johnson?
I'm not personally.
Not personally. So Sam was a big part of our like Raised Rowdy family and played our rounds tons of times and really tight with a lot of the artists that we do a lot of stuff with. And he passed on Friday, had a seizure unexpectedly and everything. And I was listening. I always like to listen when we have musical acts on this program. I always like to listen to the songs on my way over here to be like, I'm gonna just freshen up, you know.
Yeah.
And I listened to that one, and I was like, damn, this hits hard right now. So writing that song and the creation of that song, I got to say, to somebody like that's helping me. That's helping a lot of the guys and girls in our circle right now because we wish that heaven was down here and that we had Sam, and I can feel the realness of you writing about your buddies that had passed. Like music's so fucking powerful, bro.
It's so powerful.
It's cool. So you had just started doing music. You didn't have a super musical background. You'd always listen to it and always kind of sang along to the radio and sang with your buddies and shit like that. But was that one of the first ones that you had kind of put out and written?
So the very first song that I ever put out was Buzz On.
Yeah.
And
listen to that one too.
My buddy, I met him on TikTok. So I used to go on TikTok live all the time. And that's how I kind of gained a lot of my followers and whatnot on TikTok. And I met a guy his name's Dipper. And do you know Dipper?
Bro.
Dipper is legit.
I'm looking forward to this conversation, but let's touch on Dipper for a second.
He's a killer.
So Nikki T, shout out to Nikki T. Him and I will always send people back and forth to each other, and always
he
be
was
like,
sending Dipper all the time,
bro, because he used to work at Big Loud.
I know.
And
that's
Big,
like
and,
that was
and,
me and Dipper were talking about that. That was our dream to get there.
That is his. That is like when you listen to Dipper and you listen to his vibe and listen to all that, you're like, he's singing the same shit that like a very similar stylistic in his own way in his because he's a Northwest guy too, right?
No, he's from Texas.
Oh, he's from Texas. That's what it is. I knew he was from somewhere west of here.
Yeah.
But doing it in his own way to where it's not cookie cutter, it's not imitating anyone else, but it's stylistically similar to what guys like Earn, what Morgan are putting out, similar to what guys like the Block Brothers, what John Byron, what Jordan Dawsey, our friend from Down Under, what they're writing.
Jordan Dawsey.
Dipper is very similar to that.
Yeah.
And he's a lot of people are sleeping on Dipper right now. And is he in town full time?
No, not that I know of. I think he's still in Texas, but I think he just signed with somebody.
Really?
I'm pretty sure, if I'm not mistaken. Like it was like we're talking about it, and he signed something. I don't know what it was, whether it was a pub deal, whether it was a record deal,
management or something.
I think it was. If I'm not mistaken, I think it was a record deal, but I don't.
I hope so. Good.
Me too, because he deserves it. I
mean, how'd you get connected with him? Was it just over the
TikTok?
Internet?
We were just on TikTok Live, and like I was just joining people and whatnot, and we started messing around. And he pulled up this song. He started playing this song that I remember I heard that he like did a little thing of it. I'm like, oh, you're the kid who did this song. I'm like, and he's like, yeah. And I'm like, dude, love that song, and like we should write. And he's like, oh, dude, so down. And then we wrote Buzz On. Literally, the first song we ever wrote together was Buzz On.
Like in person?
Over FaceTime.
Wow.
And we were just messing around, like, just started playing little fun stuff because I love Ernest. Like him, Ernest, Hardy, and Morgan are like for sure. They have to be everyone's in the sense of like coming up right now, like their favorite writing styles.
Yeah,
just because it's like unique and different. Like everyone, like that's how you have to do it to make it. So like. We always we loved Locals Only.
That's my favorite Earth thing too. I love the Western stuff that he's doing.
I love it too. But that is a vibe, dude.
Locals Only, like Sugar and all those songs off that record. And I love the Grand Theft Auto kind of music video with Sugar.
The music video to that
so
fired me
cool.
up.
Such a cool vibe, and it makes sense hearing Buzzin'. Like it is of that kind of style.
Yeah. It was like because we're like. I didn't know I was going to release it. I didn't know anything. And now Dipper's releasing it too. His version of it too.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah. I think it's supposed to come out July.
It's coming out end of the month?
Yeah. He posts about it all the time. Let me look. Dipper.
No shit. And I love his name. I love that his name is fucking.
His name's Mason.
Yeah, but I love that he goes. I love that he has a stage name, and people are like, "Oh, Dipper! I know a Dipper too. I know. There's a Dipper behind the camera over there, Matt McElwain. He's a Dipper.
It comes out. What does it say?
That's cool to have a second version of that song.
It's crazy because it's like completely releasing the song next. Buzz on. I think he's gonna say it on here.
Oh, dude, nice.
Hold on. I think it'll say it.
It's like the lyrics. That's a cool vibe, dude. He's like hippie shit.
Because he loves like.
Yeah.
It didn't say, but I think it's July. It's coming out in July. But anytime we talked about stuff, he loves like the young Keith Urban, like that vibe and like that cool, like he likes like mixing that stuff in, and I think it's awesome.
Yeah.
So it's like for sure, like you were saying, like it's definitely like his own type of like uniqueness with like what's still cool right now.
Yeah.
And it's such a cool vibe.
That's awesome.
So yeah, we wrote that one. That was the first song I ever put out, and then next was a song called Every Time. And it's funny because I wrote Buzz On with Dipper. Every Time I wrote with my good buddy Caleb Mills, Alec Taylor. I think that might be it. I think that was it for that one. Then Heaven Down Here was Caleb Mills, Alec Taylor, Sean Dunbar, and Ethan Wynn and me.
No shit.
And yeah.
And Caleb Mills is a name that we know because he's an Alabama guy. And,
great
me
kid.
being from New York, I'm an honorary Alabamian, roll Eagle or whatever, you know? Like, he makes both of them. Caleb's a kid that, I mean, and that's the cool part about Nashville, and the cool part about this songwriting country music thing is you're a small town kid from the Pacific Northwest. Caleb's a small town kid from the Deep South.
Yeah.
Dipper's a small town kid from Texas. Like, and you're getting to meet these people and share these experiences and bring your experiences to these other people in a creative space. Mm-hmm. You never would have met a guy like that.
Yeah.
If you hadn't been doing this, if you hadn't gone on TikTok, if you hadn't like all the little steps in the journey of the last few years.
Crazy.
It's wild because Caleb has got some smoke in the Southeast.
Oh yeah. Like the first song that we ever wrote, Beyond Blessed, it's right for now, at least for right now, I believe it's still his biggest song. The first song we wrote is Survive. Have you heard that one?
No shit. I think I had to have because I've seen him play full band at Live Oak because he'll do a lot of the Magic Hill stuff that Tracy Moore does. Dude, but Heaven Down Here, like it's hitting really hard right now, and then I'm sure like. Were those buddies back home or were those buddies here?
Yeah, from back home.
So I'm sure that
Grew
song...
up, like, one of them, his name is Brandon Howes and Gage Little. So Gage was one of me and Brandon. So he was my best friend like growing up. We always fought. So we're like literally brothers. Because I never had a brother until like recently, like a couple, I don't know how many years back, but never grew up with a brother. So he was literally like, we were always hanging out, always doing things, always getting into trouble, always whatever. And it was like, so... When we got into high school, obviously we knew Gage before that, but like we grew up with him too. But we he was our we looked up to him in the sense of it because he was a couple years ahead of us, and he was the leader, the captain of football. He was a quarterback. Gage was, and a great, outstanding guy. And then 2020, he passed away in April, and from a side-by-side accident. And I was back home at that point from college, and went up to where he wrecked, and his, I think, stepbrother was with him, and then as soon as it happened, like obviously, like I said, things go like wildfire. Like everyone starts calling people, and everyone starts getting phone calls, and it's like first person that calls me is Brandon, and he's like, "Is this true? Like, is this did this really happen? Whatnot type of thing?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm here right now," and like. Because I got a phone call, and then I drove right up to where it was, because it was like right up on the hill behind our town, like not very far, like 10-minute drive. And they were coming home, and they lost control coming down like a dirt road, but it was like it had like shale rock on it, so I think he was coming down, and like a tire caught and it flipped, and the roll cage got him. And
life's really short, dude.
It's so short, and you never ever know when something can happen. And it's like ever since like those two things have happened, it's like I love deeper, and I mean more when I say things, because like you never know. Like I tell my best friends all the time when I hang up with them, I'm like, "Hey, I love you, dude," like always now. And like I don't think I've ever left a phone call from any of my really close friends that I don't say I love you, because it's like you never know.
Yeah, dude. That's how I felt like getting the call from my buddy, our buddy Ethan Willis was the one that called Nikki T and I. We went up to Ohio for the Eric Church, Muscadine, and Travis Tritt show this weekend, which was awesome, and it was a great show. But getting that call, you never like. And Ethan and I hadn't spoken in a minute, because just
when you get that call from somebody you haven't talked to in forever, your heart instantly sinks. And especially after that, like when you get, I'm sure when you got that call, you're like,
what does Ethan need? Yeah.
Yeah, like, what does he need? But, like, now, since, like, things have, like, I swear our town has lost so many people in this last, like, 4 years. Like,
really?
Or 5 years. Like, my cousin passed away. I believe he's my cousin in the sense of it. Like, I've always called him my cousin.
Yeah.
But I think he actually is my cousin. But he passed away my freshman year. And so, like, that happened, and then Gage and Brandon passing in 2020.
What happened to Brandon? Because
Brandon
that's wild.
He was on his way to work, and he just asked his girlfriend to marry him, like the month, or like within that last month, and they were planning everything, and he was on his way to work. He got a call up to go to work in Washington, because he was doing, I don't remember what it was like construction or something. And on his way to work early in the morning, and they were in this rural part in Washington, I think, and it was like this 4-way intersection. And I think what the cop said, that was like the sun was in a weird place on the horizon, and it's hard to see and whatnot. And he apparently like looked both ways, whatever, and then went, and there was a Silverado with a utility trailer on the back, hit him door side, and it just, I mean, he was alive for. Passed away on the 4th. I think like 3, 4, 5 days. Like they took him to the hospital.
But he was in that critical condition.
Like he was like kind of like just like not there. I think they could have got him, but I don't know. But like it wouldn't have been him either way.
Yeah.
Like
that's when it gets tough. Yeah.
It really sucks in that part, because it's like I wouldn't want to see him like that, and I bet you he wouldn't want to be like that. Like
and his
it's
family and
like
all
everyone.
That shit.
It's like that's the hardest part of everything. It's like. But the one thing I'm beyond grateful is, and I hope on everything that he could at least hear, I gotta say goodbye to him. So that was like something and that sucked, because I was on the baseball field when all that happened. Like I was in practice. Well, first off, I got the call. I was in class, and then I practiced later that day, and then I got a phone call and got to say bye to him while I was at practice. And I told my coach, I'm like, if I get a phone call, I have to answer it, and I have to have my phone on me.
Yeah.
And he was completely understandable, and it was. Terrible time of life, but
yeah, the song helps a lot of people, man, and that's the
main reason I wrote it.
Songwriting is such a big therapy for guys and girls like you that write them and sing them, and I'm sure every time you perform that song, you think of Gage and Brandon.
Always.
And there's people in the crowd that are thinking about
somebody that they've lost.
Yeah, dude.
That's the main reason. I don't like. When I started this, I've always thought this way. Is like, I don't care if I get big and famous. I don't want to be famous.
Yeah.
I don't want to be like, I would love to have money in the sense of where I can do this for a living, but I'm not worried about getting, I need to get a new Porsche or a new $10 million.
Material shit doesn't matter.
It doesn't. And that's another thing. When you lose people, you don't, like, you realize, like, and you look at, like, all the huge, crazy, rich, famous people that are, like, killing themselves. And it's like, they're not happy. They have everything they could possibly want, but there's something that they're missing. It's either faith in God in the sense of that, or it's a love member, like a girl to actually love and not there for money, or in the sense of that. It's like money can't buy happiness in the general senses of it. Yeah, it can buy fun times for a while, but like in the deep sense of like yourself, money can't do that.
Yeah. How old are you again?
23.
Okay, you're very wise beyond your years, bud.
Well, thank you.
I was not when I was 23 and moved here and I was bouncing on Broadway. I was not thinking in that mindset. Like and the life experiences, I'm sure, are what helps cause that. And
definitely.
And dude, like it's fucking. I'm happy to call you a friend, buddy. For real.
I'm happy that I not to get off complete topic, but do you even remember this? It was the first year I moved here in 21. You guys were doing something at Whiskey Jam and
at Whiskey Jam or at Live Oak?
You were at Whiskey Jam, but you were having it was either 21 or 22, but you were hosting something there, and it was like you and a couple other people, and I came up to you, I'm like, hey, I like your Raise Rowdy stuff. I was wondering if I could get a show with you guys, and you said, yeah, just email this or whatever, and like. I think I forgot the email or something.
Yeah, a lot
but
of
I'm
time
like,
went by, yeah.
And I'm like, didn't even think about it. But it's funny how a full circle comes back to all
Yeah,
that.
dude. Yeah, dude. You're one of those guys. The first time I remember really hearing you at one of our, I think it was a Rowdy on the Road.
Was it the one where they invited, like I subbed for Gavin?
Yeah, you subbed in,
dude.
And who'd you sub for?
Gavin Lucas. He's a good buddy.
Yeah, and Gavin's fantastic too, and we love him. And yeah, that was that night you subbed for fucking Gavin. Everybody came up to me and was like, who's this Caleb kid? I was like, I just met him tonight.
I don't know.
And so what do you got going on for the rest of this year? Like what's kind of the plan? Do you have a team in place that's kind of helping you with shit?
I'm trying to build the team right now. Like I'm trying to get everything that I have a new song coming out that it's my favorite song in the sense of like, what I wanted it to be is exactly how I wanted it.
Okay.
Because I have two versions of it coming out.
Who you working with on the producer side?
So on this one, I'm working. All the other ones I worked with Steven Sharp, like the ones that I have out right now.
Okay.
Great producer. And then I'm working with his name's Gary Garris.
Okay, yeah.
Do you know who that is? Yeah,
I don't.
Kane Brown and all.
I don't know him personally, but the dude is like
he's awesome,
a legend,
awesome,
absolute legend.
He's awesome.
And I've heard just such a good vibe and a guy that brings out the best in you as an artist.
100%, and he's a great because he's really good at like. Because I know what I like. I feel like I have a very, very visionary brain, and like same with that's why I like songwriting. I love it because like I know exactly what I want to get to. But like when it comes to stuff like that, I have no idea what I'm doing in that sense. So I'm like telling him like, hey, can you make this sound sort of like this and make it like whatever. He knows exactly what I'm talking about, and I don't even know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But he knows like we blend perfectly, and it's like that's exactly how I wanted it, and it came out unbelievable. And so the new song is gonna be I Seen a Cowboy Cry. It's that one that I played that Heath was like, that's how you do it, and I was like, yeah, this song is sick. So like I'm having that slowed down version, hopefully done a little later. It's gonna probably a couple weeks, month after I release this one, and then I got this like rocky. It's like it hits. It's that version of it. Yeah. So that's coming out August 4th.
Yeah, the artist producer combo is similar to like the battery mate thing when you're on the mound or you're in the bullpen and you got your catcher and they know what you can do. If
your catcher knows what your tendencies are and like knows what you like.
Yeah.
Dude, it's so tough to like. If you're a hitter, you're gonna have a tough time.
Yeah, and it's the same thing with the producer knowing like this is the kind of production these are the cadences that you want to sing in. This is like what you're trying to say, and on that same message. I'm thinking back. You played the was it the Play the Hits night?
Yeah, it was Play the Hits. That's why I was like,
you were on Play the Hits.
I was on Play the Hits without a hit.
Your first Rowdy event was Play the Hits.
Yeah, bro. I
was you were one of the that was when Heath gave that.
It was the last one.
Yeah,
I was the last round, and I'm like, why am I here?
That was when Heath gave that whole speech, and Rockin' a Hard Place was at number one. Yeah, dude. He was like, fuck a 401k, you know?
Dude, that fired me up.
They say you can't do this shit. You can do this.
Dude, I'm sitting there like it was like Rocky, and I'm like, I'm ready to go in, coach.
That was the Sunday of CMA Fest coming out of it.
Yeah, and it was like it was packed.
It was a big crowd, and there was that drunk lady from Michigan that was just yelling while because we have a very good angled Ike Everard. I don't know if you met him. You do all my shit. That's
he's been working with me like all the time.
Ike is doing all of your content.
Ike, shout out to Ike. He's a G.
I love that the Pacific again because he's a Seattle kid. Yeah. So I love that's so.
He just got to go back to
cool.
the All-Star game.
Yeah, I know. And he said, bro, I just met CC Sabathia. I'm like, you motherfucker.
But yeah, no, he's been doing a lot of this, like, because we just shot a bunch of acoustic, like this, like 5-song acoustic set at my buddy Thomas's house, and like it's such a cool vibe. It looks like there's a pool table. There's like the brick wall in the back, like, and it's like has like bottles everywhere, and it's like music stuff. And it was such a cool vibe. We got a smoke machine, made it look way cool.
Nice.
And like,
hell yeah, dude.
So we have like this 5-song thing that we're gonna get. I'm gonna post it on YouTube, and then obviously like each song, like clips of it and whatnot.
That's smart.
And Ike did an unbelievable job.
Yeah, dude. Ike, we call him our Prince of Content, Sir Ike Everard.
Dude, he's so good.
The Prince of Content. We fucking love Ike.
Yeah.
You gotta ask him about you gotta ask Ike about Ivan.
Ivan. Okay.
Ask him about Ivan.
Okay.
Key West Ivan.
Okay.
He's only in Key West. His name's Ivan.
But is that when he starts drinking?
That's Key West Ivan. Key West Ivan. I'm gonna leave it at that for you. Key West Ivan.
Oh gosh.
He's the man. But so when can we expect the new music?
August 4th is the.
No shit.
Yep.
It's real. It's coming. Quick.
It's coming quick, and I'm so excited about it. I feel like this song is gonna be, because I got connected really, really gratefully with, like I said, my vocal coach, Mo, and she connected me with one of her friends. Her name is Janet. I don't even want to try to pronounce her last name because I can't pronounce it. It's like Froio, Frio or Fro or something like that. Yeah. And she used to be a VP at, to my knowledge, I think don't quote me on this, but I'm pretty sure she was a VP or a vice VP or something at Atlantic and Sony. And then now she's doing stuff with like NASA and also like in the
outside
distribution stuff. And her husband's a VP at Black River, Rick. And so I got connected with her, and she's been doing like all this promotion stuff with my song and like playlist stuff and like
huge,
Sirius XM stuff, and like
it's huge.
I'm like, this is unbelievable, and I'm like beyond grateful for her. Like she's killing it.
Well, it's proof that good things happen to good people, and good people work with good people.
Yes.
Like not just in the sense of talent or accolades, but just in being a good fucking person.
Yeah.
Like it all happens, man. So, dude, I'm super stoked for you. And this was fun, man, because we've talked and like seen each other out in town.
Always.
We haven't like fucking kicked it, dude.
Like, we haven't yet.
Where in town do you live at?
I live in Hermitage right now, like by the airport.
Where in, like right by the airport?
Like, so right off the freeway, off of...
so like Hermitage, Donaldson area, like
yeah. So like you know when you go past the airport, right?
Oh,
you go and then exit like 221, I think, and you go up and it goes over across.
Yeah.
And
That's literally my exit.
Where do you live?
I live over by the Walmart.
Oh, so dude, you live like 15 minutes from me.
Like
10 minutes.
You're by the Kroger, right?
I'm like more towards the freeway. So like, you know the Mapco.
Yeah, everybody knows that Mapco. McAway knows that Mapco.
Yeah. So the Mapco, and then the Hardee's, and then the Jack in the Box, and the Walgreens.
Oh yeah, but I get my haircut right over there. Elusive Barber.
Yeah, they're unbelievable.
Yeah, you go in there too?
I've been in there. Yeah, I also do kind of cut my own hair a little bit too.
You cut your own hair?
A little bit.
Fuck.
But yeah, if you go down that way, right by the
down towards Cinco, the Mexican joint, right by the barber shop.
Love that place.
Yeah, Cinco's great.
So,
big margaritas.
So let's say you're leaving Cinco and you go up to the light, right? Macro's on your right. You turn right there and go down that road, and it's right there to your right.
Oh, yeah, that's
it's
right.
The Colonnade.
Oh, dude.
Don't stalk me.
Yeah, you are. Yeah, I've my good buddies, Todd Williams used to live in there. Caleb Conrad used to live in there. Hosts our NASCAR podcast.
Dude, it's such a cool spot.
Yeah, dude, you're literally. So you go to the Rusty now.
Rusty, is that the one right across the thing?
That's the bar. That's the bar.
I went there one time to play pool with my buddy.
That's the bar right behind the Valvoline.
Yep.
Right there by the little homeless village.
Yep.
What are you doing Wednesday night?
Apparently going to Rusty.
Yeah, we're having an event. We're calling it. It's called Rhythm and Smoke. So it's our cigar sponsor, Crowned Heads, and then we're teaming up with Standard Proof Whiskey, and it's like a cigar and whiskey night and just chill vibes from like 7 to 9.
Really?
And we're just kicking it on the back deck at Rusty Nail. That's also where we host McElwain Monday. If you ever want to play Writers Round on a Monday and watch Matt McElwain host the Writers Round, really intoxicated. It's a fun. We love the Rusty Nail. So, dude, yeah, we're definitely gonna have to. Yeah. I didn't realize how fucking close we were. We're like 5 minutes apart.
Yeah.
We're right there. Nikki T and our Razor Righty headquarters is right over there too. So, dude, fucking.
Did you see the guy get shot up there?
Get shot where?
At the Walmart.
There's a guy got shot at the Walmart.
Yeah.
Well, I usually stay. I have a.
It's like a road rage incident. My buddy used to work there.
In Hermitage?
Yeah, dude. It was like couple months, like a month or so ago.
Jeez, yeah, I've been living there since September, but I'm not really there. I usually stay at my girlfriend's place in here in the she's like right around the corner from here in the Gulch.
Oh, cool, yeah.
So I stay over there a lot, but like I mean, because I used to live in Antioch, and that was gunshots or fireworks every night. You were like, it's a Tuesday in April. I don't think anybody's shooting off fireworks.
That's definitely a gun.
Yeah, it's definitely a gun. But no, when did this happen? What? Like
this was like a month or two ago. I think maybe three, but like, yeah,
Jeez.
My buddy used to work there and he's like, hey, can you come get me? They like blocked my car off because some guy got shot from a road rage incident. I'm like, what the?
Jeez.
It was crazy.
Yeah, I like the McDonald's that's right over there. I used to be a frequent goer to that late night, coming back stoned from the bars because they're open till fucking. I knew the guy was Doug that worked at McDonald's, and he looked like Chris from Family Guy, like a big dude with blonde hair, just belly over kind of thing. Yeah. And he knew my order to get making the McGangbang, the McDouble with the McChicken. You put it inside of it, doing the greasy shit. So yeah, dude, that's cool. The fucking Hermitage guy. We definitely got to.
We definitely need to.
We're going to because we do nights where we have folks over the house and we just smoke cigars, hang out. I mean, for those that do drink, I think I told you.
Do you golf?
I have 3 sets of clubs in my at my house. I played on the golf team in high school, but I was like an alternate, so my score counted the minimum of like 2 or 3 times. I wish we had golf in
high school. I
wish. Well, dude, I got to play.
I love golf.
My family couldn't afford playing at these fancy country clubs in New York, but the taxpayer dollars in my school district could.
You're like,
so I used to play like all these fancy courses in like Westchester, like where Trump's from, and like all this shit. And so like I understand. I golfed a lot with my grandpa, my great grandpa, and all that shit. So like. I know how to golf. I golfed a lot during COVID, but now it's been like probably 2 years since I've been out there. But I'm down to go out and play the links. I actually I had a buddy, my buddy Davis Danziger. He works in management and stuff. Used to be out of Texas, but he's here now. He hit me up about golfing yesterday, so we can definitely get a crew. Where do you golf?
Went yesterday.
Where at?
I went to McCabe yesterday.
Okay, McCabe's fun because you walk.
It's fun, dude. It's nice. It's like, dude, I like Shelby, McCabe. I went to both of those. Yeah.
Have you done 12 Stones yet? It's up in Goodlettsville, bro.
I haven't done that one yet.
Okay, 12 Stones is fun. I have played there probably 5 times. Every time I've hit a house. It's always been the roof.
I like Old Hickory a lot.
Well, I'm sure you do. Everybody loves Old Hickory.
It's a nice
yeah, spot. We have a buddy. We'll introduce you. Our friend Will Shackelford he's in a duo called Shackelford Lane, and he just got a job there as a groundskeeper. So he was like, "Hey, buddy, I can bring friends out here. So now I might have a friend to bring out with me,
dude." Yeah.
And Will's him and his brother Reed. They're like, Reed looks like, so like if Riley Green is like redneck Adonis, we joke around that he's like the Greek god of the South. Will's younger brother Reed is like redneck Hercules, or like he's got like long hair. He looks like he's 35, but he's 21. Like he's just a monster.
Really?
5,000 acre cotton farm in South Alabama, down near where Sweet Boy's from, down outside of Montgomery. But yeah, we'll definitely set something up for sure, bro.
That'd be sick. So, you know what you need? You know what you need in this? I feel like it'd be so fun. You need a segment, kind of like what Ernest does. Like, you know how he does, like he's like the local or whatever, like the local food segments, whatever. It's like, where's your favorite place to go eat?
Oh, dude, I mean, I mix those in. Like, we have like, we've done like different like segments and different shit like that. And yeah, I want to get the consistency going because like we used to be in the round, which I'm sure you remember when we were in the round, but we moved to, I remembered it when I was starting out this damn podcast today. We call it outside the round now because we have on like country artists like yourself and songwriters, but we're mixing in like, we're starting to mix in like influencers, comedians, athletes, things like outside of the box, you know. And then with the round, we're doing like more full band shit and like jammy kind of stuff and like live podcasts and just mixing in different kind of concepts and shit. But I do need to think of like some good,
like something that's like super unique to you and make it like super like where like somebody hears it and they're like, oh yeah, that was on that podcast.
Yeah, and then I can mix in like the New York stuff. I can call something Fugazi. I can call something like the Gabagool. Like,
or you could be like, they're like like the hey, I'm walking here part.
Hey, I'm
like,
walking
you know, like
oh, dude, I've been doing the food reviews. We did a food review
Yeah.
up in Cincinnati, I was calling it this weekend with our buddy Sam, who runs our Rowdy Alternative segment. We called it Cincinnati because him and I were just zinning.
That's
He's
genius.
been zinning for 5 years, two at a time, and I'm like, motherfucker, like it's a lot of nicotine. I'm at one right now. I love how I don't have to spit. It's great. But I did a food review. We were tailgating, and the guys next to us had elk burgers. So,
oh, dude, you're. I'm
So
so
he
hungry
went out-
for
he
that
went
right
out-
now.
he went
I
out to
haven't been
Col-
home in a minute.
yeah,
so
because
like,
you guys eat elk and shit out there. Like that's
all of
elk,
our freezers are full of it.
elk or deer. Yeah,
Yeah.
like elk are the equivalent to deer out there. But yeah, I did a whole food review that we put up, and it was 5 stars premium. It was good. It was solid. I want to go and start doing the ones of places I don't like. Like I want to go to Fazoli's. Fazoli's to me is a fucking travesty.
I don't think I've had it.
Okay, you're not missing out.
Okay.
It is a fast food Italian southern chain.
Oh no, dude, that's that one that's like right up by the
Right by
Chick-fil-A.
Zaxby's.
Yeah,
Right by
yeah.
Zaxby's. Yeah, I don't go in there.
I was gonna go there the other day. I'm like,
I mean, you can go there and try it if you want. For me, growing up, because I grew up with home cooked Italian food.
Yeah, it's probably
like,
really
I'm not
good,
paying
too.
$5.99 for a chicken parm. Like I know what a good chicken parm is supposed to cost. Like
Yeah.
I'm not having a chicken parm with ketchup on it. You
No.
know, like not my thing. But you got a website or anything where people can go to find you, or is it all socials?
it's right now it's socials. I'm in the midst of making the website, but right now all my socials got the link tree, so it's like really good setup in that
Nice.
sense. So
how many followers you got at TikTok now?
TikTok's 118. I
No
think,
shit.
1,000?
That's
I
pretty
don't
good.
know. Let me look.
That's pretty good. Hell yeah. Shout
Megan
out to whoever
Maroney.
that is.
Shout out
Oh,
Megan.
Meg Maroney, a former guest of this podcast. Meg Maroney, proud member
Yeah, I
of the
love her.
Outside the Round family.
I want to get it right with her. Yeah, 118.
118, yeah.
Yeah, and then I mean, my main socials are TikTok and Instagram, and they're both the same as Caleb Lathrop Music, CALEB LATHROP Music,
You spell music.
MUSIC.
There you go. Not just the job.
No, I
There
do,
you
yeah.
go.
Well, people, dude, you have no idea how many times, and I'm actually very surprised you didn't mispronounce my name because everyone mispronounced my last name.
I had to announce it on stage. I've kind of
Yeah.
known it for a little while now.
Everyone's like Lathrop or Lathrop or
Yeah.
Lamb Chop or something.
Lamb
Dude,
Chop?
one of my buddies is like Caleb Lamb Chop, and I'm like, no, dude, it's not. It's not that.
Get you in one of those. That was a TV show back in the day, right? Or you're probably too young for that.
I don't
Wait,
know
was
that
there
one.
was there a TV show called Lamb Chop? It sounds like a No, I thought there was. We'll look it up after this, but y'all be sure to go follow our boy Caleb Lathrop, not Caleb Lamb Chop. Shout out to the friend that calls him that.
Shout out Lake.
Shout out Lake, calling him Caleb Lamb Chop. Jesus Christ. But Caleb Lathrop, be sure to follow him on all the socials and be on the lookout. What was the name of the song?
I Seen a Cowboy Cry.
I Seen a Cowboy Cry, coming out August 4th. Y'all be sure to go and pre-save that shit and be on the lookout for Caleb doing some stuff here in town. And you don't tour yet, do you? You haven't been
I'm
out
trying to
there?
get there. Trying to get on that.
So he's getting there.
Trying to hop on that bandwagon
He's
right now.
getting there. Hell yeah. Bandwagons are fun to tour into. We can talk about that after this. But y'all be sure to check out our boy Caleb Lathrop. Appreciate him coming on today. New music coming out. He's got some great songs out right now, and happy to have him as a part of the Raised Rowdy family, baby. Once again, my name is Matt Burrill. Got to give a shout out to our friends from Big Friendly Productions, Whaletail Media, Saxman Studios, and our boy Mitch Wallis with The Digital Marketing Agency. If you want to know more about us and what we do here, look up RaisedRowdy.com. For Sweet Boy behind the camera, our boy Caleb right here. My name is Matt Burrill, and this has been Outside the Round.
I ain't never been the kind for staying in one place for too long. I ain't never been the best at saying I love you to a girl I love. Only got a couple tricks on my sleeve. They usually just make 'em leave.